Hey guys, Katie Roy here. So as a mom, we know that there are certain things that we have to deal with, like dirty diapers and temper tantrums. Those come with the territory. But what you don't have to live with forever is a mommy pooch or the feeling like you're gonna pee whenever you sneeze or jump. Those are both fixable things. Let's talk about how we do that. First, how to not feel like you're gonna pee when you sneeze or jump around. Okay, I'm gonna show you an exercise. But you need to do this exercise really frequently at first. You're gonna set a timer for every 2 to 3 hours during the day. Now, if you have a newborn baby at home, then you can just plan to do this whenever you're feeding the baby and the timing will work out perfectly. So what you're gonna do is every 2 to 3 hours when that timer goes off, I want you to pretend that you have a squeezy ball in your lady parts and you need to squeeze that ball, okay? You're really, really squeezing it. So not just a basic Kegel, but really squeezing it. And with all of those surrounding muscles, I want you to pretend those are like an elevator. You're trying to lift them up and squeeze in, okay? So whenever that timer goes off, you can be sitting, you don't have to be standing, but essentially for 10 seconds, you're squeezing everything in and then releasing for 5. You're gonna do 10 of those at a time. You won't have to do them this frequently forever. Once you start to notice a difference, you can scale back on it. But they're really great, especially if you plan to have another child. You really need to rehab those. Now, the dreaded mommy pooch. Okay, so a lot of this is, even as I saw a celebrity recently posting about how she was doing 1,000,000 sit-ups within a couple weeks of giving birth, trying to get her belly back, there's some internal stuff that's all just stretched out and mangled because you just made a person. And we have to make sure we tighten all that back in before we can mess with that top layer where we hope to get the 6-pack or however you really like your stomach to look. We have to do that from the back to the front. So we pull it back in, because if we just start with this top layer, then what's gonna happen is it's gonna round out because we're gonna be pushing and all this is gonna be loose within here. That's my nice little hand example. On to how we do this. So today's workout is gonna be all about abdominal rehab. So these aren't really intense ab exercises, but they're gonna rehab all that stuff within and they make a huge difference in your core. And then when you wanna attack the harder stuff, like the long planks or sit-ups, anything like that, jackknives, then you know you're doing it right and everything is ready for you to do that and you'll see the results you want. Also, you can do this workout if you have diastasis recti. I actually have a specialty certification in prenatal fitness and postpartum rehabilitation. So you can do this if you have diastasis recti and it will help correct that. So we're gonna start out with 50 pelvic rock squats. Then you're gonna do 100 knee lifts, 50 glute bridges, and you can actually, if your kids are around, you can use them as a weight. It's a great way to intensify the exercise and they think it's really fun. 50 pelvic tilts, 50 clams on each side, 10 Pilates leg circles each way, 50 splinted crunches, 50 reverse crunches, and 50 heel taps. Lots of 50s in there. Okay, so what all of this looks like. The rocking squats, I like to use a ball. It's nicer on my joints. So you're gonna squat down like you normally would, and when you come up, see how right now my back is kind of arched on the ball? I'm gonna do a pelvic tuck. So I move my rear away from there and put it back, down. So up, rock, back, down, up, rock, back, down. You're gonna do 50 of those. After that, you're gonna sit on your ball. Now you could do those squats without a ball and you could do this sitting on a chair, but having to balance adds another element to the exercise. So on this, you're just counting down from 100, picking up each foot. This is working the hip flexors, a little bit of the quads, and some of the core. Again, we're rehabbing. After that, you have a lot of stuff on the floor. So I'm gonna move this down so that you can see what I'm doing down here, because if you can't see the floor, it's not very helpful. Okay, so glute bridges. We've done these before. If you have a child handy, you can sit them across your hips. You're just raising up. After that, we're going into pelvic tilt. So instead of going up, you're rocking back, closing up that gap against the floor. After these, you can lay on your side and you're doing clams. So pretend this is your clam shell and you're opening and closing it. Once you're done with your clams, you have leg circles. Woo, hello ball. So, making a circle, a big circle, that leg is straight. You're going to go 10 times to the outside, reverse it, 10 times to the inside, 10 times straight up and down. After your leg circles, you're going to do splendid crunches. So if your abs have separated, this is one of the ways you can correct them. I'm just using a scarf. You can use a towel, anything that's not overly stretchy. Grab either side and across. Okay, and you're going to be pulling really tight so that you're pulling those abdominals back together. So you're crunching and pulling. Think belly button to spine every time you crunch. All right, after that, you have the reverse crunch. So slowly, you're rolling up and back down. Again, belly button is fine. Right about the time your feet get to the ground, you're going to pick them back up. After you get done with those, you have heel taps. So you're hinged like this. You're tapping your heels out so your legs are straight and back in. Out and in. 50 times. So, if you feel like you're in pretty good shape and you can take on more after this set, you can do another set. You can add some planks afterwards, some full sit-ups, but definitely know that in order to get your body back to the way it was before you had a baby, you really need to work from back to front, pulling in like this. And these exercises may not seem like they're super intense at first, but they are going to do that for you.